media.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Today we got to talk about premiers, and I know if you're watching from any part of the country and you're not aware of different premiers in different provinces, I know we sometimes talk about Danielle Smith, but it's time to talk about Manitoba today. Not Scott Moe, not Danielle Smith. No, we're not talking about Doug Ford. We're talking about Wab Kinew. Wab Kinew is the First Nations premier of Manitoba. He's a member of the NDP party. Extremely woke. He has some controversy surrounding him in his past. We're going to get into that later in the video to maybe back up what's being said here. But now Wab Kinew is under fire because, well, he's booted one of his MPs or one of his MLAs. Sorry, MPs are federal. He's booted one of his MLAs out of caucus because they wouldn't lie for him and they wouldn't try to rub his image the right way after some very aggressive behavior. I don't know what's going on with the NDP lately. We're going to get into this video right away, coming from Mark Waslu, who is the MLA for Fort Garry in Winnipeg. Shout out to Winnipeg, I guess. This is my hometown. This is where I'm from originally. Born and raised until I moved to Calgary in my teens. Love Winnipeg. But this is alarming. I don't know what's going on with the NDP because lately we've seen Jagmeet Singh turn around and threaten people in staged videos to try and look like he's tough. Now we've got Wab Kinew coming out and being very aggressive, we'll say, around people. And now booting out MLAs because they don't want to pad his ego and say that, hey, he did nothing wrong. They didn't see anything here. Nothing going on, officer. Just minding my business, right? I'm going to play about the first 3 minutes of this press conference. And then I want to get into some articles to really back up the claims that are being made here, because some people are saying, oh, Wab Kinew, he'd never do this because he's head of diversity, equity, and inclusion. He would never. He's a great man. This is all racist behavior. You're all just racist people that don't like Wab Kinew. Let's listen to what happened.
I have a statement this morning, and then I would be happy to answer any of your questions. On April 13th, 2023, there was an incident at the Manitoba legislature between MLA Abi Khan and Wab Kinew. If you look at the surveillance video, you'll see that I was directly behind the two men in the second row and had a clear, unobstructed view at what occurred. In fact, I was probably one of the primary witnesses as to what occurred on that day. And I want to correct the record as to what occurred, and I have some apologies I want to give this morning. So essentially what had happened, this was Turban Day. It was an NDP-sponsored event, and some of my colleagues were speaking. Obi Khan was the Minister of Sport, Culture and Heritage and was invited by caucus to give some comments. He took the podium and pointed out the fact that he was speaking in front of an NDP banner and that all banners of the legislature should have been present. He then walked over to Wab Kinew, who was directly in front of me. I saw Wab at that point extend his hand, grab his hand, and pull it into his body. He locked his elbow, and I could see the tension in his hand that he had gripped in sort of like a really strong grip of his hand. He leaned forward. His face was twisted and contorted. He was angry and agitated, and he was doing most of the talking. I could see MLA Khan's face was shocked and horrified. I could see him physically lean back away from Wab Kinew, and I could see him trying to pull his hand away and release his grip. And it was clear that Wab Kinew was not allowing him to release the grip and was holding him in place until he had finished saying to him what he had said. And so Mr. Khan had made some other allegations about Wab giving him what I would term a hockey elbow when they two separated and pushed off. I did not see that. Wab Kinew's back was to me and obstructed my view at that point. Although I can tell you that Wab did most of the talking, and it was in an agitated, angry manner. I could not actually hear the substance of what was being said. There was a speaker at that time, and it was very loud. So essentially, that's what occurred. Now, what happens next may be of interest to the public as well. I get a call from Rebecca Whitcomb, who is now the Deputy Chief of Staff and was a press officer for the Manitoba NDP at that time. They had reviewed the surveillance video and knew that I was a witness to the incident. The request made from me at that time was to go on social media and basically refute MLA Abi Khan's claims and to basically cast dispersions on MLA Abi Khan. At that time, I told Ms. Whitcomb what I just told you here today. I told them that I would not lie for Wab, and that if the media had asked me, I would give them the version of events that I just gave you. Her response to me was, well, we don't want that. I subsequently learned that she called other MLAs I don't know if it was evening or shortly after, and posts were made, and there was sort of a social media pileup of Mr. Khan. You also had Wab go to the legislature immediately afterward, because this was at lunchtime, just before question period, and he tried to get ahead of the story and denied any wrongdoing, and in my view, clearly lied on the floor of the Manitoba legislature, and then lied when he left the chamber and maintained that story. Wab Kinew had a choice. He could have accepted responsibility for his bizarre and strange actions that day, and in my respectful view, meet the criminal definition of an assault, but he didn't. But more troubling still, the people around him in the leader's office, and those people are still there today. In fact, they've been given significant positions of authority, doubled down on the lie, even though they had an eyewitness from their own caucus telling them that Abi Khan was telling the truth. Despite knowing the truth, they orchestrated a cover-up, they orchestrated a campaign to smear Abi Khan, call him a liar, and to try to discredit him in these circumstances.
Now, I want to get into that right there. This is all about what I've been saying about government who try to cover up things, who try to essentially come in and say, no, everything's fine, everything's great. Why would Wab Kinew do anything aggressive? Why would Wab Kinew do anything like Jagmeet Singh? Why would he essentially blast somebody who's of another minority? Why would he behave like this? Well, this Mark Wasslew was asked again, why would you wait so long to come out with this? Why would you wait to discuss this? To which he said, well, I had to make sure it was safe for me to talk about that. Now again, he's been booted from caucus because he's refused to lie. And while people say, oh, he's probably making this up, it's probably a whole bunch of hogwash. Let's take a look at Wab Kinew. Let's take a look at his history. Details emerge about a Manitoba NDP leader, Wab Kinew's assault and drunk driving charges back in 2004. Now, it's okay to say that, people make mistakes in life. Sometimes people learn from those mistakes. They become better people. I'm not going to try to rule that out. But what I'm going to look at here is a history for Wab Kinew. As the new Manitoba NDP leader, Wab Kinew finished his first day on the job last Monday. Again, this was after his election. More details emerged about his 2003 arrests for assault and drunk driving. Now, again, I'm just going to quickly brush over it. He was bound by court, recognizes on the charge of June 27, 2004. He was arrested following an altercation with a taxi driver. The accused began to insult the cab driver with racial comments, which continued until the driver reached the intersection of Portage Avenue and Fort Street. While stopped at the red light, Kinew exited the vehicle, approached the driver's side door window, which was open, and punched the driver in the face. Nearby passenger yelled out, momentarily interrupted the assault. When the driver exited the cab, Kinew pushed him to the ground, kicked him court-herd. Police came up on the scene when Kinew attempted to flee. Taken into custody, Kinew declined to discuss the incident. Of course, he's waiting for a lawyer. On the 70 pages of a book, he writes, the driver caught up with us and then pushed me. I turned around and shoved him back. A passing cabbie saw what was happening, stopped his taxi, and jumped out to help his fellow driver. He swung and hit me in the face. I grabbed him and swung back. No, it's not. So this is Wab Kinew's statement from his book. We stood in the middle of the street, arms flailing in full-on hockey fight mode. The police showed up and tackled me. Court heard Kinew's problems. The alcohol started sometimes after he moved out of his parents' home at the age of 19 while he was attending university pursuing an economics degree. Mr. Kinew's drinking has led him into significant difficulties and played a participating role in each of the criminal offenses, says the defense lawyer. I mean, it says here that, he's gone to sweat lodges to purify himself. He's apologized unequivocally. People say, okay, well, he made a mistake. He's learned his lesson, right? Well, let's look at this other article that came out back in 2017. The woman at center of Wab Kinew domestic assault allegation says she was thrown. Allegation did not happen, says Kinew, confirming the couple did, in fact, live together. Again, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but essentially, here's as the friends were leaving, Kinew's girlfriend said to Kinew, they got into an argument at the door. I asked them to leave, they left. And once they left, he turned on me, she said. That's when he flung me across the living room and I had a big, huge rug burn on my legs. Hart said that what happened prompted her to move out. A few days later the next day, I left with a laundry bag. My grandmother picked me up and I had rug burns on my knees and I couldn't bend my legs to get into her vehicle, she said, adding when she went to the RCMP to file a complaint. Kinew, who is widely considered the frontrunner for the NDP's opposition, said that he decided that will be decided Saturday. He repeatedly denied assaulting this person. I've been open about the shortcomings I had in my past, he told CBC. I've done the hard work of changing myself and becoming a better person. I acknowledge this person is suffering and I feel compassion for them. I take responsibility for the role I played in the end of our relationship. But as I've said, the specific incident did not happen. I will continue to be an ally and stand up against violence in all forms. Again, optics. He's padding his resume. Here's the problem. Now he's done it again in his own parliament. So the big question is what should happen to Wab Kinew? Is he going to get special preference treatment because he's the premier of Manitoba? Perhaps because he's First Nations and nobody wants to seem racist? I think personally Wab Kinew should step down. I think he should resign. I think that his job in these kind of allegations should be over. I think that he should see the writing on the wall. It should be done. At least have a different leader take over until the next election. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think this is just for a person like Wab Kinew? Do you think that all these articles, all these charges are all just allegations, or do you start to believe that maybe Wab Kinew isn't what he appears to be and that it's all optics for a political career? Let me know your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that subscribe button, you click the bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where we talk about things like this and everything else that's happened in the world of politics and everything that we know coming up in the week ahead. We also have some great conversations. We have some fun story times with not only myself, but the beautiful Mrs. Fringe. My wife joins us on stream every Friday starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. I look forward to hearing what each of you all have to say this Friday on the stream and look forward to seeing you all there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one.